It's hard to miss when you're driving around Sacramento. Construction is well underway on the State Capitol Annex. Crews are constructing a new office building that will house the offices for the governor, legislature, and other state officials. But this taxpayer-funded project is shrouded in secrecy. In April of 2021, the project was set to cost $1.1 billion. Despite several efforts, that was the last time we got an update on the cost of the ever-growing annex. Thousands of people associated with the construction have signed NDAs, not allowed to talk about the cost. Earlier, I spoke with Dick Cowan, who led the now-defunct Historic State Capitol Commission, and he resigned because of this project. Here's our conversation. Dick, thank you so much for being with us today.
Delighted to be on Politics 360.
Thank you. So, first, just to catch everyone up on the situation, why does California right now essentially no longer have a Historic State Capitol Commission?
Well, the Joint Rules Committee elected to not replace any of the commissioners who termed out or resigned. Finally, Paula Pepper, a commissioner, resigned, saying that she could do more good for the Capitol and the legislature outside the commission, where we were honor-bound to advise only the legislature. Paula felt she could speak to the public if she were outside, and I followed her suit, and no one was ever named to replace either of us, so there is no quorum, no commission.
But how much did the Capitol Annex project that is being built right now as we speak, how much of that played a role in all of that?
It was entirely the annex. The other advice we gave to the legislature on use of the building, restrictions of public access to the building, other historic preservation ideas, and a master plan for Capitol Park, our dream, all of those were well received by the legislature.
We're still waiting on information with that Capitol Annex project. It's been years since the legislature provided the public an update on the cost of it. At last check, at least 3 years ago, $1.1 billion. We've been asking all year for that information. And finally, one of the leaders of the project, Assemblymember Blanca Pacheco, said that she will get that information, or she'll try to, is directing members of the project to provide that cost analysis so that she can give the public an update. Just what is your response to that?
First of all, congratulations. I think it was largely the KCRA 3 pressure that you brought that led her to that decision. I don't know why she needed to wait. I'm sure that the professional staff and professional consulting firms that the legislature hired have that information right at their fingertips at least once a month in a formal report. So perhaps the news is either worse than we fear, or explaining it is more difficult than we might appreciate. That must be the reason it's taking so long.
Pacheco and the Joint Rules Committee overseeing this project is blaming the litigation that I understand you were a part of, which ended a year ago, as a reason behind the delay in the update to the public. Is that fair?
Well, certainly I would agree that the failure of the state to properly do its California Environmental Quality Act environmental review led to delays. Our lawsuits were a part of that. But as you say, those suits were settled a year ago, so any cost of a suspended time period should have been settled within 60 days of the court issues being ruled on. I can't imagine why those are still in question unless there are claims among the different project contractors. I don't know of any, but I wonder about that.
Governor Gavin Newsom said that he would essentially help in this effort to make this project more transparent, get us more access to the legislators who are leading it. Technically, his office is not ever overseeing every single little detail here. But what do you make of his approach to this project and sort of the situation that they all find themselves in at this point?
Well, while Speaker Pacheco and Senate Pro Tem McGuire can be said to have inherited this problem as they took the roles in leading the legislature, the governor's office has had one of the 3 seats on the executive committee managing the project since inception. So, you know, if his representative is fulfilling the governor's office role, you know, I don't know that he's distant from the project. He's involved in it. True, only 1 out of 3 votes, but a heavy influence on where the project started and where the project is now.
You mentioned that executive committee and all 3 members of it, including Assemblymember Blanca Pacheco, State Senator John Laird, and the governor's representative Miroslava De La O, they all signed non-disclosure agreements in this project, along with 2,000 other people. I mean, and we know that those NDAs continue to be signed as of this year. From your perspective, in your roles in preservation on that historic State Capitol Commission, could there be an effort to invalidate them? What should happen with those NDAs at this point?
So I'm not an attorney. I don't know exactly what would be required, but if the legislature can find some courage and find a way to invalidate those, I think just the Joint Rules Committee, to whom all of the signers are bound, were to release the signers. That would be sufficient, but maybe it would take a law. Certainly it'd be interesting if some legislature introduced a bill saying the non-disclosure agreements relating to the Capitol Annex Project were invalid, then any committee of the legislature or any legislator for that matter could interview people and work on the questions that I know the public really would like to hear.
Dick Cowan, thank you so much for your insight. We really appreciate it.
Delighted to be here. Thank you.